Hello everyone. Hope you all are fine and enjoying your e-classes. I, Harshika Kane, your English teacher, is back again with a new poem in Mulberry, that is At Sea in the House. It is written by Stanley Coke. So let us start. Before starting the poem, let us read something about the poet Stanley Coke. He was born on 12 April 1873 in Austerfield, South Yorkshire. He won a scholarship which took him from a two-room village school to Doncaster Grammar, and from there a further scholarship to Oxford. He was graduated with first class honours in 1894. For most of his life, he worked as a school teacher in Yorkshire. In 1904, he was appointed as a college lecturer in Hebrew. He was also a university lecturer in comparative religion from 1912 to 1920. He died in Cambridge on 26 September 1949. So let us start the poem. Firstly, we will have line by line reading of it, and then I will explain it to you in detail. Let us start. Have you ever imagined? Imagined means formed a picture in your mind of what something might be like. Have you ever imagined certain things in your house to be something else? It is a question which is asked by the poet, that have you ever imagined or compared the things in your house like your bed or your fan, table or chair to something else? Let us read the poem to see what tables, chairs and a carpet can turn into if we pretend. Pretend means to imagine that something is true as a part of game. We are just imagining the things to be something else, but they are not like that as we imagine them. In real, they are something else. So, in this poem, the poet is saying the speaker, who is a child, has imagined or pretended the chairs, tables and carpet of his house to something else. Let us read what is the comparison or imagination the speaker has made. When I pretend them to be, the tables and chairs are land where you can safely stand, and the carpet between is sea. The dining table makes a boat, and I climb on there by way of the rocking chair, and out to sea we float. The pattern in the carpet swims like fish on the floor, and anyone opening the door is sure to get very wet. So, we have read the poem. Now, I will explain it to you line by line in detail. When I pretend them to be, the tables and chairs are land. So, in the beginning lines of the poem, the speaker has pretended that the tables and chairs are land where you can safely stand, where he can stand safely, and the carpet between is sea. And he has pretended that the carpet which is lying there between tables and chairs is a sea. So, according to his imagination, the carpet is a sea and tables and chairs are land where he can stand safely. The dining table makes a boat and I climb on there by way of the rocking chair. Now, in the later stanza of the poem, he has compared the dining table to a boat where he climbed on through a rocking chair. So, why do you think he has used a rocking chair to climb on to the dining table, which is a boat in his imagination? Can you think? Yes, he uses a rocking chair because he is smaller in height as compared to the height of a dining table. He cannot climb onto a dining table directly. So, first he uses a rocking chair. First he stepped on that rocking chair and then he climbed onto a dining table, which is a boat in his imagination. And out to sea we float, and after climbing on a boat, he sets his boat to sail in the or to float in the sea. Float means to move slowly on the surface of water. Like you might have played in the rainwater, you might have made paper boats and floated them or set them float in that river water. Similarly, he has imagined that dining table is a boat which is now floating in the sea water. The pattern in the carpet swims like fish on the floor. Now, in the last stanza of the poem, he imagined that the pattern means the design which is there on the carpet is fish which are swimming in the sea water, and anyone opening the door is sure to get very wet, and whoever will enter the room, anyone who will enter the room from outside will get wet. Why? Because according to his imagination, he is floating his boat in the sea water, and whoever will enter the room will step on the carpet, which is a sea, and will get wet. Such a playful imagination he has. We will now have short summary of the poem so as to read what the poem is about. In this poem, the speaker is a child who has imagined certain things in his house to be something else. He pretended chairs, tables, and carpet of his house to be something else. In the beginning stanza of the poem, he pretends that the tables and chairs of his house to be a land where he can stand safely. Then he imagined the carpet between them as a sea. In the later stanza of the poem, the dining table turns into a boat in his imagination, where he climbs on through a rocking chair as his height is small as compared to the dining table's height. He therefore climbs on a rocking chair first and then onto the boat, which is in actual was a dining table. After that, he sets his boat to float in the sea. In the last stanza of the poem, the pattern in the carpet pretends to be the fish which are swimming in the sea. He put a stop to his imagination by saying that whoever will enter the room will surely get wet, as according to his imagination he was floating on a boat in the sea. Anyone who enters the room will step on the carpet first, which is a sea here, and will get wet. Such a playful imagination he has. After reading and explanation of the poem, it is time for solving some exercises now. We will start with the word meanings. First, imagined. It means formed a picture in your mind of what something might be like. Second, pretend. It means to imagine that something is true as a part of a game. Third, float. It means to move slowly on the surface of water. Fourth, pattern. It means design. And fifth, drifted snow. It means snow shaped by the wind into a mound or a heap. Let us start with our first section of exercises, making connections. Question 1. Write what each of these objects turns into in the poet's imagination. You have to tell what these things are turned into in the poet's imagination in the poem. First, pattern in the carpet. It turned out to be fish swimming in the sea. Second, chairs and tables. They turned out to be a land where you can safely stand. Third, carpet. It turned out to be a sea in poet's imagination. And last, dining table. It turned out to be a boat. Question 2. Read these lines and answer the questions that follow. An extract from the poem is given here, and related to this extract, 3 questions are also given to which you have to answer. So let us read out what the extract is. The dining table makes a boat and I climb on there by way of the rocking chair. The first question related to this extract is, onto what does the speaker climb? The answer is, the speaker climbs on the dining table. Second, why do you think the speaker uses a rocking chair? I told you while explaining the poem that he uses a rocking chair because he was having a small height as compared to the height of the dining table. So he uses a rocking chair to climb first, and after climbing on that rocking chair, he then stepped onto the boat, which is the dining table. So the correct answer is, the dining table is too high for a child, therefore the speaker first climbs on the rocking chair. Last question, where does the speaker imagine that the boat will go? Answer is the speaker imagines that the boat will go to the sea. Now 2 more questions are also given related to the poem. Let us answer those questions also. Question number 3. The speaker says anyone will get wet if they enter the room. Why? While explaining the poem, I told you that in the last stanza of the poem, the poet has imagined that the pattern on the carpet are fish swimming in the sea, and anyone who will open the door to enter the room will get wet. Why? Because anyone who will enter the room will first step on the carpet, which was a sea according to his imagination, and anyone who will step in the room, he will step first on the carpet, which is a sea, and will get wet. So the answer is anyone who enters the room will step on the carpet first, and in the speaker's imagination the carpet is the sea. So the speaker says so. Last question. Do you think the person imagining the things mentioned in the poem is a child or a grown-up? Why do you think so? The answer is, I think that the person imagining the things in the poem is a child, because only a child can have such a playful imagination. Now, the next section of exercise is appreciation. Its first part is rhyming words. Rhyming words are those which are same in pronunciation and has the same rhythm while speaking. Like, for example, we can say bat and cat. Both the words are spelled in the same rhythm, but they have a slight change in their written form. For bat we write BAT bat, but for cat we write CAT cat. There is a slight change in their spelling, but the way we speak them or the rhythm of these words is same. The first exercise is find words from the poem to make up rhyming pairs. 6 words are given here. They are also from the poem, and you have to find out 6 more words which rhyme with these given words. Remember that your words should be from the poem only. First one, bee. So its rhyming word is sea. Second, land. Its rhyming word is stand. Third, there. Its rhyming word is chair. Fourth, float. Its rhyming word is boat. Fifth, wet. Its rhyming word is get. And last, floor. Its rhyming word is door. Second exercise. Here is a poem with a few missing words. Choose words from the help box to fill in the blanks and complete the poem with rhyming pairs of lines. So here is a poem written and it is having few blanks which you have to fill by using the help box, which is having 4 words given. What you have to do is, few words are highlighted and underlined. You have to find out a correct rhyming word for that word which is highlighted and underlined. Your answer should be from the 4 helping words given here. The 4 helping words are done, sleigh, wait and nose. So let us start. Over the river and through the wood, To grandfather's house we go. The horse knows the way to carry the dash. So you have to find a rhyming word for the word way. The word which rhyme exactly with way from the given helping words is sleigh. Through white and drifted snow, over the river and through the wood, oh how the wind does blow, it stings the toes. Now the next word is toes. Find the correct rhyming word for the word toes. Yes, it is nose, and bites the nose as over the ground we go. Over the river and through the wood and straight through the barnyard gate, we seem to go extremely slow. It is hard to dash. Now which word rhymes exactly with the word gate? Yes, it is wait. Over the river and through the wood, now grandmother's cap I spy. Hooray for fun! Is the pudding dash? Hooray for the pumpkin pie! Now the last word is fun. The word which rhymes exactly with fun is done. After solving the exercises, it is time for some homework now. Your homework is to read the poem again and write it in your notebooks. If your drawing is good and you want to show some creativity in your work, you can also draw the picture which is given in the poem. It is not compulsory for all, but those who wish to draw can draw the picture also. Next, learn the word meanings and poem by heart. And last, complete all the exercises and word meanings in your notebooks. These exercises will also be given in your class WhatsApp groups so as to complete the work neatly and comfortably. We will meet again in our next class. Till then, complete your work, stay safe and stay home. Thank you.